Shakespeare's King of Thrace, Part 3.
I went into town. I needed something to get the dog hairs off the back of the Mercedes. I remembered an ad, I'd seen it on the telly a long time ago. Rush-O-Matic. I thought, I remembered, it was sad, the British High Street. Woolworths, Boots, Owen and Owen. You knew where you were going with Woolworths, Boots, Owen and Owen. I couldn't find, I looked around. I thought I'd go to Waterstones for a cup of coffee, just for a break. I went in, I queued up. When I got to the counter, there was a man. He looked, could have been Asian or Mediterranean, Mexican. He was dark hair, dark moustache. 24 years old, I don't know. When I got to the counter, he stood there. He got his spray and went like this. He didn't actually, I don't know whether maybe it reached a bit. I said, hey! My Thracian accent came out a bit in the melee. It wasn't a melee, it was quiet. I said, hey! You can't do that! I said, you can't do that. That's out of order. He said, no, I'm cleaning the counter. Okay, so stand there. Do I have an Americano, please? There's a good, nice girl standing next to me. Does she think he's the king of the castle and I'm the dirty rascal? Yeah. What is one's to do? Dishonoured in such a way in front of a packed cafe? What do you do? Set with this dilemma, and in the name of relaxation, often is the irony. You leave in this place or wherever. You decide to leave early from, say, going out, only to meet whoever on the street at 11:30 or 10, rather than staying later. You know, the irony of that situation. So, I got my coffee. I went round the counter. He was busy. I said, supposing I bring some fly spray in, and if there's a fly buzzing around you, I'd spray. As an implication, you are treating me as if I'm a dirt, a fly. And he said, bring it on. This is in Waterstones, the middle class enclave, shall we say, of the nice people who like books and ideas. There are lecturers, lectures on ideas, books, famous people come there, including Nigella Lawson. She's a rather attractive woman who's well known in these times. I went downstairs, quite upset. There were a queue of people, only one person. The queue was 10, 15. What could I do? So I raised my voice and said, "Is there a manager here?" Obviously I was irate. I tried to be calm. He left. He said, "Excuse me," and came over and said, "He's on his way down, or he might be around, he's on his way down." Lackadaisical. Hold around and wait. And I said, "No, this is to be sorted." He said, "Oh, perhaps go upstairs. See Lucy." So I went upstairs and spoke to Lucy. She said, "Go upstairs and speak to whoever. He's the sort of a manager. I don't know." So I thought, what? I'll go further upstairs. And I spoke to him. He gave me the address, both of the shop manager and the cafe manager. It's not the same business. It's in the same building, but perhaps a different franchise. I don't know how these things work. I described what had happened as I have to you. I get a letter back. I said, "I demand an apology, an immediate sacking of the person who's dishonoured me in front of a packed cafe." Then was rude. I said he could have said, "Excuse me, I need to clean this. Would you stand back a minute while I clean it, sir?" When I said this about the fly, he had another opportunity to say, "I'm very sorry, sir. I didn't mean it. Please apologise, have a free coffee," or whatever. So I wrote the letter. I said, "I demand an apology and the sacking of this person in compensation for my ruined experience and this dishonouring of me in front of other people." A few days later, I get a reply saying, "Bear with us, we'll look into it." A few days later, I get another reply, "Bear with us, we don't sack people on individual incidents." So, with the implication, if he picked a sandwich and put it in the face of the local MP's wife, we should offer him another chance. And they said, "By way of an apology, we'd like to offer you a free sandwich and a drink in the cafe with said person going round again to serve you." The implication was perhaps you. Maybe you've got it wrong. Or is it? Perhaps forensic architecture, Goldsmiths University, refilmed the incident, restaged it. There were people around. I didn't ask for any evidence. I didn't take names. I presumed there was a CCTV camera. I asked upstairs. I said, "Oh, is the cafe, is there CCTV, which is a camera that surveils?" And they said, "No, not in the cafe." See, now there's a thing in the UK called respecting diversity. It's a sort of fascist reductionism under the auspices of liberalism, that you don't, you're wrong people, you're not liking people. Of course, respecting diversity, as they say, has been around for a very long time. Football supporters know, they visit away grounds and tick them off. They have, I've been to Fratton Park, or I've been to Upton Park to watch football. It's respecting diversity. It's like collecting beer mats is respecting diversity. But with folk who have a different values, perhaps, you're asked to respect diversity. Now in this culture it means black, or Asian, or people of different sexual orientation, or whatever. Not that there's the whole pantheon of humanity within one's own family. Your uncles, your sisters, your brothers, your relations, your partners. But this doesn't count as diversity. There's this reductionism. Perhaps the person in question is a schizophrenic at loose, rehabilitating a murderer. Have an Asian murderer to give you a scone instead of a nice middle-class girl. Because you have to have Waterstone's paragon of the middle class, and we need to show people that it's not all white on the high street. That, you know, perhaps black people are welcome. So for this to have this, to show them, they'll have, say, an Asian or a black person working in the cafe, like on the news, a black newsreader. But it seems to be respecting diversity one way, but it's one way. It's not reciprocated respect. It's only going one way. You know, what they say to the government directive is, you respect people coming in as they fuck you over. They say, the foreign whatever say, I will be your friend as I fuck you over. It's the way this culture is at the moment. So, whilst Waterstones are being told by whoever to employ diverse people for the middle classes, who are the only people who would shop at Waterstones, they don't have this respect diversity in working men's clubs or in Shazam hosiery or halal meat shops. I don't recall the local dignitary's wife working part-time there. It's you know, a sort of veiled threat. You know, and the implication is, if you'd like to take this further, you know, you might even be charged with insulting and threatening behaviour if you were to not just accept someone treating you with disrespect. It's an attempt to create perhaps psychosis under the auspices of a parallel universe you've slipped in. It's a new concept, it's a new thing, parallel universe. It's a sort of an assumption upon the back of infinity, that for something to be infinite, there must be infinite variation of every single thing in every single way. That's what infinite means. Therefore, that's what it must be. It is a perverse form of conclusionism. But if there was infinite length and infinite breadth, therefore Peter stopped somewhere else, as I'm called in this world, it is my name, was busy having straight cut chips instead of crinkle ones, because there is infinite length and breadth. No, I don't think that's a logical follow-on, but some people think this way. Planet Earth, stuck in infinite space, must surely have another Peter Stott eating straight chips in a parallel universe, which is rather strange. That was my name as I travelled. It was my life. I had to admit I wasn't the King of Thrace. It was a way to introduce my condition. World's #1 art theorist on the dole for 10 whole years, as that, 40 in total. So I'll see. I sent a letter back. I said TripAdvisor, there was a thing, TripAdvisor it was called. And I sent another letter and I said, people placement to drive your customers away is playing into the hands of somebody who doesn't want Waterstones on the high street. Somebody doesn't want a bookshop in Canterbury. Somebody doesn't. It's part of a thing. There was a thing called dumbing down. Nobody said what it was. Third world England. There are no. It's racist to have Waterstones bookshop. It's an insult to the black people now coming in from the London overspill problem boroughs. We are excluded. You're not excluded, you're excluded from their lives, but you're not, it's an exclusion one way. You don't want a parity with the third world by gradually reducing England to the third world. It was a thing, a reduction of currency. What's a reduction of currency per se? A reduction of all value to currency. To say we set the agenda, we have the power. It was intimidation. Keep everybody in their homes. Don't go to Waterstones for a cup of coffee. Don't buy books there. Just stay in on the computer. And order from home. Never go out of your house. We don't want books anyway. All online, all electronic. so that every word you speak. You see, I've even now got it wrong. Every word you read comes with electronic impulse. Move your eyes around. This refers to this. Punch, move the eye, punch, punch, excite. And you think it's just the corporation, an invisible mass of rule. Not an individual smoking a bit of a cigarette, writing it down and then saying, fuck you. Now I'm going to have a pint of bitter in my local pub. Fuck you. Anyway, I remembered when I was in the north of England as a child. We go to places. There's a place on here. There's an advert. I'll bring it closer so you can see. See what I mean. This place. The despair. It's called Ramsbottom. A former historic paper mill could be turned into housing. Yippee! It's a place in black and white. It's a place I remember in black and white. Where your all-weather gear all year round is a piece of tissue paper for your nose. We went in a car one day. My father was looking for a suit. He had to look smart for interviews. He'd lost his job in a redundancy. The same old story. The big industry comes in, gets what it wants, and then discards it. You mean nothing. We went around, no motorways or dual carriageways then. The traffic in the 60s was slow. Rain every day. A windscreen wiper. The window condensation. Condensation, sorry. I got a toy, I still have it somewhere, Ferrari Dino Corgi. This would offer some solace to the child's despair.